Hi everyone, it's Jay here, and today I'm going to review some of the manga and manhwa I read last month in February. I read 14 volumes, which was better than last month when I only read 11, so I'm moving in the right direction. I feel like I should say I want to read more, I just don't have the time. I'm still achieving my goal of reading every day though, which I'm really happy about. I started a few new series this month, but my reviews today will not be in any particular order as I kind of liked all of them. Well, almost all. Let's start with The Remarried Empress, Volume 5. I thought this was a very good volume. Things are moving closer and closer to the divorce scene that we saw in Volume 1, which I cannot wait for. At first I was confused as to why they showed us that scene at the start, but now I completely understand. The anticipation is building with each volume as we approach that moment. As a reader, I am so excited to read it. Emperor Sovieshu comes across as quite dumb in this one. I think so anyway. We find out his long-term plan of divorcing Navier to marry his mistress, and then what happens after that. I won't say any more because of spoilers, but it seems like a really silly plan, and it totally disregards Navier's feelings, which we see when she accidentally finds out about the plan for divorce. I really felt for her in that moment. I hated Sovieshu before this volume, but after what he did to the bird in this one, I really hate him, especially when he then acts like he cares that he's upset Navier. He's just so up and down when expressing his concerns for his wife that I think Navier just needs to go now, escape his thoughtlessness, his cruelty. My only critique of this one is that while some of the panels are beautiful, some are poorly drawn and lack proportionality. But I still recommend this series, and I cannot wait for Volume 6 to come out in March. I finally got around to starting Spy X Family, and I read Volumes 1 to 5. I loved this manga so much. So it starts with a spy known as Twilight, and his new mission is to spy on and get close to this guy called Desmond. This is all in order to maintain peace between two nations, but getting close to Desmond is extremely hard. So the best way for Twilight to achieve this is to enroll a child into the same prestigious school Desmond's son goes to, and kind of get close to him as a fellow parent. But the problem is, he doesn't have a child, which results in him adopting a child from an orphanage under the name Lloyd, and she's called Anya. And along the way he makes a deal with a woman to be his fake wife, but the hilarity of the situation is that the simple family unit is anything but. His wife, Yor, is actually an assassin, and his daughter Anya can read minds. I cannot tell you how adorable it is to see Anya so determined to befriend Desmond's son because she secretly knows Lloyd's mission. Her being able to read minds is the greatest thing ever. It makes for some really funny moments. I think my favourite storylines are the ones in school because I cannot believe how badly Anya's attempts at being friends are going. I mean, it is really bad. But I also love any moment where it's just the three of them and the adults are trying to hide the truth from each other, whilst Anya is sat there reading their minds thinking she's got the greatest family in existence. It is adorable. I do not understand how this is the same mangaka that created Tista, which was so awful, I DNF'd it. Spy X Family is fantastic and I implore everyone to go read it. I also read Lullaby of the Dawn 2, which I enjoyed a lot. So in this series there are people called Kanagi, and they protect people from the sea and fight the monsters at night. It's interesting to see how different Kanagi see their role, because we meet a different Kanagi in this volume and they hate their job. Like, he doesn't see it as his sacred duty like some others do. And at the start of this, Elva is out looking for Alto, and it's really sweet how devoted he is to finding him. And this volume has some miscommunications in it which really affects Elva and Alto's relationship, especially Elva, and the dark stain spreads as his time with Alto changes. So that's a really, really interesting plot line there. And there's a lot of setup in this one. We're seeing different kanagi, introducing more characters, and getting a glimpse at what the monsters from the sea are planning. I didn't enjoy this volume as much as the first one, but it was still great, and I highly recommend this to anyone who likes BL and fantasy. The world building is really good, and it keeps me intrigued and eager to learn more, which is what a good fantasy story should do. Also, it's really sweet just how happy they are. Look how happy they are together. I read another BL called Love, a Kitten and a Stray Dog. I was really looking forward to this because the cover is so adorable and I love animals, so having one of the main characters be a vet helping a tiny kitten was right up my street. But I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. The story is about a college student called Momo who brings a kitten he's just found to the vets. How cute is that kitten? The vet is called Okura, and he's immediately smitten with Momo. They keep meeting up, and the story is full of mixed signals, miscommunications, and to be honest, I was a bit disappointed. There were some cute moments, like when the kitten stops Momo from kissing her. So funny. But there were times when I put the book down and sat there thinking, WTF did I just read? Momo was giving off way too many mixed signals, and whilst there was some attempt to give him a backstory that explained this, I just ended up not liking him very much. Akura definitely felt like the grown-up here, and even when he messes up, he recognises this and he apologises so sincerely. It's hard not to forgive him. I won't say anything else because I don't want to spoil it, but if this does sound like something you'd enjoy, do check it out. It just wasn't fully for me. I started a new series for me anyway, called Kaiju No.8, and I read the first 4 volumes and I absolutely loved it. First of all, I love the colours. Each volume is a completely different colour and it really brightens my bookshelf, and I just love it. It's so vibrant and it really suits the story as well. So I love this series, another series I'm kicking myself for not starting sooner. The story is set in a world where monsters, kaiju, are constantly appearing, and a boy called Kafka made a promise with a girl called Mina to one day fight together in the defense force and kill as many kaiju as they can. Fast forward, Mina is an exceptional fighter, whilst Kafka never made it past the entrance exams. Instead, he works in the disposal unit, breaking up and disposing the bodies of dead kaiju. But when he gets a second chance, he takes it with both hands alongside his new friend Ichikawa, who recently joined the disposal unit. Honestly, I really like these two. Their camaraderie is actually quite touching because they want to see each other succeed and they're not stepping on other people to do so. What I'm going to say next is kind of spoilerish, but also not, because I knew it before I started reading the series and I feel like it's on the blurb somewhere, so skip if you don't want to know. But Kafka turning into a kaiju was a really fun twist, especially because Ichikawa knows and he's trying to help Kafka, but also stop him from being reckless, because obviously if you've got the power to fight kaiju, which is your dream, you're going to want to use it. As you read more volumes, you meet more people in the defense force and you see how there are some rivalries between different divisions, which is hilarious. It really lightened up the story, so I recommend this series to anyone who likes action, well-drawn artwork and a bit of fun. The last series I'm going to talk about is A Stepmother's Mershan by Spice and Kitty. This is a full colour volume, and as you can see here, it's a hefty volume. It's a really thick volume. If I compare it with Remarried Empress, and volume 2 is even thicker. And then if I compare it to a typical manga book, it's a lot thicker. So you really get your value for money with this one. And I also received volume 3 in the post, and it is much bigger than these two. So very impressed with the number of pages that we're getting with each volume. So the story starts with a fairy tale style opening, and the art style chosen was perfect. It's all read beautifully. It's about Shuri, who is a young woman who's married off to a rich man who already has 4 children. Shortly after he dies, it all goes downhill until she's killed and reawakens the day after her husband dies. From there, she tries to change her future because her past life was not a happy one. The children hated her and she was miserable and alone. One thing I love about this story is neither the children nor Shuri were blameless in how things went downhill after the husband's funeral. It was realistic in how it showed the decline in their relationship until it reached breaking point. So in the current timeline, Shuri tries very hard not to let that happen, and she sees a new side to the children. Obviously, because she's lived for longer, she now has that experience to recognise when the children were actually crying out for help, but were too young to verbalise it or understand their emotions. The youngest are twins, who have the most adorable outfits, and then you have the oldest and second oldest sons, who have these moments with Shuri where they grow closer little by little, and my heart weeps with how happy it makes me. After seeing how awful their relationship was before, it really makes me happy, and I think that's the beauty of this manhwa. It weaves in the flashbacks so effectively that there's a constant stark reminder of how awful things used to be between them, which makes all the lovely moments they have even lovelier. I have to say that I love this manhwa. There were moments when my heart swelled with joy for the characters. There were characters you learn to hate very quickly, like her brother. I hate her brother. In just 2 volumes, there are so many different things to keep track of, so I get the impression there's going to be a lot of story ahead, which is perfect because I want to read this for a very long time. The artwork is consistently lovely, and there are pages that make you just stop and stare. You just need the extra time to take it all in. So I'm very happy with this series, and I really recommend it, especially if you like things like Villains Are Destined to Die. I think this is quite a nice story as well. So those are all the volumes I read in February. My personal reading challenge is on track at the moment, as I'm reading every day, and that's manga, manhwa, sci-fi and fantasy books. Let me know what you read last month. Any recommendations, do let me know in the comments below. Happy reading, everyone. Bye!